Hello all, and welcome to today's beer review. It is a little bit past 6:30 in the evening this Friday, and coloration looks kind of different. So yeah, I know one of the other beer channels I watch a lot, he has like a lamp, very nice appropriate lamp that he uses to go and check the coloration of his beers. I have this old desk lamp that I dug up from storage while I was cleaning, and I'm like, oh hey, maybe this could be useful for that. And absolutely not. As you can see, it's a little bit too warm. So I just have it kind of shooting light over here for now, because I'm thinking that my camera blurs so much just because it's very low light conditions. So maybe with this kind of going on, yeah, it'll be better. So what are we reviewing today? We are reviewing something from Ballast Point. This is Aloha Sculpin Hazy. Why they call it Aloha, I have no idea. I don't. So this is basically a hazy version of their Sculpin. And yes, this is 7.0 ABV. And this particular one was canned on 11/26/2024. So not that old. A little bit over, yeah, a little bit over 3 months old. And whenever I see this, it seems to go out of stock really quickly. I don't know why. But then I don't think Ballast Point does much distribution anymore, especially since they don't can their own beers anymore. If I remember correctly, I did an entire video on this. They no longer do their own packaging. They're the once vaunted craft brewer has fallen from grace, yet it still exists to a certain extent. And it's kind of semi-independent again. Okay, so this is not helping with the blurry thing. So yeah, let's just go and pour this out. I let this one warm up for about 15 minutes. Don't know what that's going to do. It's a hazy, so take that for what it's worth. And yeah, wow, that's pretty quick to be forming chunks in it. So, I don't know if you can kind of see it. It's a little bit chunky up in there. Odd. Usually, I don't expect chunkiness from something this, well, it's not fresh. It's not particularly old either. Um, you know, let's go and give it, let's go and shine the light at it. Oh yeah, that does next to. So basically an opaque, mostly opaque orange amber with very, very unattractive white chunks floating around in it. And a thick off-white head that still smells relatively fresh. Guava, pineapple, ozone, some lilikoi, very overripe lilikoi. So lots of tropical fruit flavor and fruit notes there in the aroma. I'm kind of hoping I don't feel the chunkiness on my palate. I really, really, really hate chunkiness on my palate. Kind of tastes like, it kind of feels like boba tea from hell, or boba tea gone wrong. Yeah. So let's get to this, shall we? What's interesting is the last Friday I had 2 cans of this, And there was no chunkiness in the other two cans, so I don't know what's up with this particular one that I opened. Maybe because I let it warm up, whatever residue was sitting at the bottom of the can, you know, loosened up and came out. So now I got to deal with that. I have to say, less juicy than most hazies. This doesn't taste like a mixture of grapefruit juice and beer. Decently carbonated on the palate. Um, very citrus zest, bitterness from the front and into the finish, kind of even throughout, even into the long finish. Kind of multi notes on the top note. Yeah, most of those tropical fruits are not there in the top note. It tastes more like a classic West Coast style IPA than a hazy does. It is definitely not juicy. It's much lower on the residual sugars. It is much more bitter and, rindy on the palate. To the point where there's almost, yeah, definitely. There's definitely a hint of pine resin there, which is not something I expect in a hazy. Yeah, the light does make it a little bit sharper. That's good. I'll make note of that. It's still kind of chunky. Um, Honestly, this is kind of mediocre. Hate having to say this, and it's kind of strange considering, like I said, every time it appears in the store, it's gone within a week. So I've been wanting to review this one for some time, and it usually gets snapped up pretty quickly. Um, so yeah, it's really very much one note, just sort of bitterness. It does have a fairly nice aroma, but it doesn't show up in the top note. It's different from other hazy IPAs, but that difference doesn't really matter if it kind of comes across as a kind of poorly made West Coast style IPA. Um, all in all, yeah, kind of sad, really. Even sadder, they still have this at an elevated price point. So this is like $15.99 for a sixer here in Hawaii, which is a good $3 to $4 higher than your usual craft beer sixer. Um, which would be fine if I was receiving, classic Ballast Point quality, but um, I'm not receiving classic Ballast Point quality right now. I'm drinking, for all intents and purposes, is something that is kind of a mediocre beer and kind of has some production flaws to it. Like I said, this was hella chunky. Usually I don't expect this level of chunkiness in a beer this new. At least it's not hitting my tongue or anything. So yeah, I mean, give it a shot. Um, because I'm all about giving beers a shot, unless they're absolutely like this is harmful to your health. Well, it's alcohol. It's all mildly harmful to your health, but salutations to your mood. Yeah. So I'm gonna finish this up. Maybe crack open another, and make some dinner. And that, folks, is your beer review for this Friday evening. Cheers.